Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a new Idol Huntress video. Today's video is going to cover Takeda. I believe that's how you say her name, but she is the newest of the Season 2 Huntresses, and I know it's taken me a little while. It's taken me the entire weekend to get this video out because on Saturday I graduated from my university. So I, for once, after many years, am done with school. It's great. Everything went well, and I'm back. I'm home. I moved. So we're good. Back to making y'all some content. But once again, if you guys do really want to support the channel and support what I do, it would make my day, and anything helps. And if you guys want to support the channel, my Ko-Fi link is down below in the description, and anything and everything does go back into the channel, especially because this game is expensive. But we'll get right into it. So I do have a lot of footage recorded for the pet system, and you saw we did roll for Takeda's. We just rolled some maps, and we got some stuff for her pet, and you'll see me upgrade it later on. But in terms of the pet system in general, I know it's very controversial at the moment. I will happily go over that in a later video later in the week, but definitely Takeda is the priority at the moment because she is, do I buy her or not? Kind of the question, right? I'm gonna just say it. You do. If you can afford it, you get her. She's just Honda 2.0, and we'll get into more of the details. But first, we'll start with her kit, and let's go. So, Takeda's first skill, Fiery Invasion at level 1, Realm Expansion, lasts for 3 rounds, and when this realm is activated, it will increase the attack of all fire allies, including herself, by 20%, and will inflict 2 burn marks on all enemies at the end of each round. Now, if enemies with 8 or more burn marks have the burn mark, they will be stunned within this realm, and blah, might testing realms, and then obviously the stun, they can't do anything, and then the Fiery Invasion, when activated, once again, they get their 2 burn marks. Now, at level 2, the Fiery Realm now increases all fire allies attack to 50% instead of 20%, and at level 3, the stun proc is now only at 6 burn marks, which is now identical to Honda, which the increase from the 8 to 6 was also identical to Honda, but also you're getting that 50% increased attack. And next we'll move on to her ultra skill. So her ultra skill is, I'm going to butcher this, so I'm sorry, Furin Kazan. I hope that was close. At level 1, Takeda activates the power of Military Mantra, dealing physical damage equal to 400% of attack to all enemies, and has a 100% chance to inflict the same number of Mantra marks as the current number of burn marks. So these Mantra marks are absolutely busted, and each mark makes the target lose 3% of their max HP at the end of each round, and this can stack up to 30. This can be dispelled, so we don't have to worry about it too much if you're walking like a dodgy or rain team, right? But this will last until the end of battle. And at level 2, the physical damage increases to 500% of attack, and then level 3, 600% of attack. So not only are we getting a lot of base, percent attack up on all enemies, massive AoE, but also the mantra marks to get that additional, pure HP percent decrease instead of it being, damage. From her, it doesn't matter how much damage she's doing necessarily because she's just doing percent HP health, which is, busted as can be, especially as long as she's alive, that is. Next, we have her most fun of skills, her first passive at level 1 at the beginning of every odd number rounds, including the first round. Takeda enters the Fever stat for 1 round, and when Takeda enters this Fever, increase all allies' defense by 50% and inflicts the standard ground on all allies for 1 round. So Fever, we all know Fever. However, this will trigger Zhao. She has that 50-50% that she triggers, and then when Yar comes out, it's a 100% chance. So Zhao, with Prom and herself, and Takeda, not even including Carmen, right? She is ulting every round, and twice every even round. So, insane. So you can get away with, getting a 0 copy Takeda if you want to proc your Zhao at turn 1. God willing that she doesn't die immediately, but, this is the meme right here. This is the meme. You get 0-star Takeda, and, you're rolling. You're rolling if, you can get your Zhao to proc, and she kills half the other team, right? Okay, now at level 2, when Takeda enters the Fever state, all allies follow damage reduction increases by 10%, including yourself, and then at level 3, increase all allies effect resist by 50. So this is more like tenacity, the actual definition of tenacity in other games. It's gonna reduce how effective CC is on that character. So these are going to be like your sand cages, but like snares, I just don't see it working. It's really weird how to go in detail about, percent chance. The only thing that we know for sure that's like, might testing essentially getting out of a snare is going to be the sand cages. So that's going to be useful going against Earth themes, but I'm not too concerned about the effect resist. But definitely it is the fever. But what really is really cool is the standard ground. When taking damage, restores HP equal to 30% of the damage. This includes, this is the entire team. So whenever they take damage, they're getting 30% of it back. So as long as they're not getting Zao one hit, they'll be recovering a lot of the HP, especially if they're getting Carmen countered. This is going to help, recover all of that, onslaught that Carmen's going to deal, especially in like Junka or, Takeda herself, especially with all the burn and whatnot. So it's a very, very, very good skill, to say the least. Next is her stat passive, Swift Wind. At level 1, Takeda gets 3% extra dodge and 3% extra tenacity for 4 and 5 and 5. So both are kind of very lame, but dodge is okay. She misses Zao ult just a little bit more often, but still she should be surviving that regardless with how thick she is. But yeah, we will move on to her exclusive equipment, military contest. So lucky us, we don't have to spend a lot more money on another exclusive equipment. However, level 1, we have final damage 3%, level 2 attack up 20%, and level 3 HP up 25%, making her even thicker and deal more damage, so that's very nice. But at level 4, EE 30, when the Fiery Invasion Realm increases all allies in crit by 10%, crit damage by 50%, cannot be dispelled, and at the start of battle, increase all allies' tenacity by 50% until the end of battle. So this one is correct. I'm going to finish the others real quick so we can recap. Level 5, now this also increases final damage boost by 10%, and at level 6, all final damage reduction increases by 20%. So, 50 and 60 aren't, 40 and 50 aren't, out of this world, but definitely 30 is well worth every penny that you put into it, especially the 50% damage in the crit damage increase. That's wicked. Zao, if you built her right, should be a crit demon. And not only is she dealing the most amount of damage, she's also dealing 50% more damage when she crits. So, you're one-tapping the entire enemy team, so long as they don't have, Honda with a Takeda, with Shibata and a Take, right? You get me, right? But definitely it is well worth it if you have the resources to get this EE30. And last but not least, her UR skill, the Steady Trees. After Takeda releases her UR, I'm not going to try to pronounce that name again, but if the target has 21 or more stacks of Mantra Mark, the target will be stunned, and the stun cannot be dispelled. So this is going to be kind of hard to obtain, because usually, the enemy team is probably going to cleanse it as soon as they get the initial stun, or they're going to be dead. But it's there, it's nice. But it could be something. Maybe it could be less, but definitely you're not going to have more than maybe 10 stacks if you're lucky on the first stun, and they're already stunned, so you don't really need more of them. But it is what it is. I'm not complaining too much. Her kit's already beyond broken. And, our last thing is her pet, because we're going to have to start covering this stuff now. So, I am devoted to you until death, my lord. So, at level 1, at the start of battle, the familiar deals physical damage equal to 200% of Takeda's attack to all enemies, and has a 20% chance to reduce the target speed by 30 for 1 round. Then it goes to 250 and 60, then 300, 90, 350, 120, and 440%. So it's 20% to reduce that speed the entire time from level 2 to level 4, and then at level 5, it's still going to be 120 speed reduction, but now that instead of 20%, it is now 40%. I think that's pretty clear if my eyes were open. So, right, pet system, I think if you join the community Discord, if you join any of the Discords, you'll understand the sentiments around the pets. I got them because they're broken. If you make Takeda fast and you make Charlemagne fast, their pets will always go first. And if they go first, especially for Takeda's, because it actually is doing damage, as you're seeing in these clips, you can do damage sooner to the team than the girls can even use their passives. This includes Shibata shield, Mit shield, Take shield, Take pet passive. In terms of hierarchy, order, like play of turns, pets go first. very first. So if you make Takeda the fastest unit, you know, in the map, which is probably going to be the case because she's UR, and, you know, I mean, it's very easy to, you know, stack speed on her, and she's got a very good and decent base stat for speed, and so it's very easy for her to go first as long as you're not going up against just me, right? Shout out. Just me the player, not me speaking in the third person, just so we're clear. But definitely, pets, I will have much to say in the pet video, but this is Takeda's video, so, you know, you guys can have a discussion here if you want to, or on the Discord, or any of the Discords. I do not care, but definitely I will save my thoughts for that later video, just so you guys can get only Takeda information, and we can keep this going. For badges and runes, the wiki is suggesting 2 green and 2 yellow for that extra HP and extra defense, and, you know, stacking a lot of HP and then giving yourself some more speed, especially because we want to get that proc off for pets, for getting the fever, you name it, right? Speed is very, very, very applicable for Takeda in this moment, especially we want for badges, we were going to have speed, and then it's suggesting tenacity, but definitely I rather go speed and HP, just so she's getting as much health as possible. I don't think the tenacity is, you know, keeping you any more alive than the HP is, and if it is, it's even worse, right? Because the hope is you don't get crit by Zhao, but it doesn't matter if you don't get crit if her base damage is still, you know, killing you. So HP all the way, we want to get that might up. That is the best way to do that, is with those very, very, very stacked HP runes and badges. So I'm a memer, so I'm going 2 green. no, sorry. I went 2 red and 2 brown to get that extra damage. And then I gave myself a ton of HP substats on those badges. On the runes. Because since I pretty much put a lot of money into the pet part, I'm not worried about her surviving most hits, as well as just having HP in general. I wanted to give her a lot of attack, a lot of attack, so she's killing as many people as possible, especially as we can see here, you know, her tiger jumps, boom, a lot of damage that is just free to give to the enemy team, and it's so early that, you know, their passives can't even, you know, respond to it. You know, you don't see Carmen passive activate to it. You don't see anybody's passive activate to it. So it's free damage. I wanted to take advantage of that in case there was anything funny that we can do with that. But, you know, it doesn't hurt. Just build her tanky. She will stay alive. The longer she stays alive, the longer they will get stunned, burned, die, you name it, right? And Zhao will proc her ult. So overall, very, very tanky kit. She is Honda 2. You know, maybe 10.0 at this point. Even though, you know, they tried to scam y'all and give Honda her own pet and thinking, oh, I'm going to make Honda very strong. Well, yeah, right. If you weren't watching these videos or keeping up with the news, then they just took everyone's money for Honda. And then it's like, yeah, here's the better Honda with a better pet. Like, screw you guys. So, right, you know, is what it is. I will have more to say, once again, in the pet video. But I think you can understand my opinion on the matter, but obviously I didn't waste my money, so not too worried about that. But hope you guys do spend well, and I will get into my closing thoughts about Takeda. So if you haven't gotten most of what I've been trying to give across, is that she is nearly unkillable, makes your team nearly unkillable, especially if you're giving yourself Copernicus, or, you know, even adding Honda onto this team instead of, you know, my Junko on here, because you're going to still get that 50% defense increase, right? She just makes your team busted. That's why the meme on the community Discord was Prom, Zhao, and Takeda was Exodius, right? A Yu-Gi-Oh meme, if you don't know it. These pieces together are an unkillable machine. You have Takeda just proccing Zhao potentially on every odd turn, so especially the first turn is a very funny turn, and then Prom and herself, you know, Zhao proccing Zhao's ult on every even turn. So Zhao could ult potentially once on every odd turn and twice on every even turn. So the longer that everybody's alive, especially, you know, Zhao, the longer they're going to be experiencing her ult. So long as Carmen isn't invincible, and here this is why we bring Carmen along, is just so, or this is why we bring Junka around, so that she can, you know, ace these Carmens when they're by themselves for once, instead of because she will always land if there's no one accompanying that other Huntress. So once again, it's sadly to say it's a must buy. You can meme around and get her 0-star, but in terms of like utility and actually winning the game, you will need to 0-star her, just due to the fact that you're going to need that 6 stars or UR skill, which unlocks that 6 stars. You're going to need that extra 100 speed, and then you're going to need just the pure amount of raw stats to be, I guess, competitive. You can get her whatever you want, whatever you can afford, but definitely she just beats Honda in every way. So, is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know this is really quick. I can't tell you in terms of negatives. She's just broken. The only negatives is if you didn't give her enough HP, or make her quick enough. So as long as you do that, I can't dog on her. Even if you throw her into, obviously don't throw her into an ice team, because it'll just get cleansed if you don't, turn 1 stun them. But definitely you're asking for it if you run into a turn 1 freeze team. But besides that, I don't see an issue. Otherwise, running into a stronger Takeda Prom Zhao team that will out-nuke you before you can nuke them. That's just my one word of advice, but in terms of strengths, overwhelming. Absolutely overwhelming. Just build her quick. Build her quick, build her fat, build her thick. So, words to live by. But yep, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Once again, sorry if this was very fast and, a bit blunt, late. Busy weekend, and have to start adulting. But I am, I'm very proud of what I've done, and even more excited to keep making content for you guys and what's to come. So take care, everybody. See you guys next time.